I do believe it's true that historically we have grown away from the inner life in all kinds of ways. Um, I once read a serious academic essay that attributed the first movement away from the inner life to coffee, to the widespread use of coffee, which, which jazzes us up and kind of prevents the Lectio Divina and all of its kin from ever happening with
Wow.
us. But it's also true that the rise of science and then of industrialization, the externalization of life in all those forms, where the only important stuff is is the stuff outside of our heads that we can touch and feel and smell and measure and weigh and taste, and that has the possibility of being empirically demonstrable. That's the only stuff that's important. The other is just, you know, fantasy, wish, dream, whatever, which is a horrific mistake. I mean, for the philosophers among us, it's a horrific epistemological mistake, for one thing. That's just not how the human being works. That's what we know, what we think we know. Science itself is a very intricate blend of inwardly held presumptions and assumptions and outwardly practiced shared disciplines. So it's a terrible distortion to even imagine that there's a radical distinction between the inner and the outer, and that the inner is negligible while the outer holds all the aces. That's just wrong. That's just flat out wrong. And it's led, you know, some people have called this the objectification of the world. And objectification leads to evils. How else do you end up, you know, killing under the Nazi regime 15 million human beings, over half of them Jews, others homosexuals and gypsies, and folks who didn't fit the Aryan model in whatever shape, form, or fashion? How else do you end up doing mass murder in any situation except by making people into objects? How else do you end up with the kind of abusive, brutalized politics that we have in this country today, except by making people into objects? So, you know, there are serious issues, to say the obvious, at stake here that are of a long-term nature in human experience.